What would you do for a mushroom brie?
I mean, gee, just about anything. Mushroom brie is my favorite.
I would eat soup.
Rip!
I would adopt 2 kids, take care of them 18 years, send them off to college, pay for college fully, get a sponsorship from Ron. Thank you, Ron. And then, hopefully I would get mushroom brie. You know, God would bless me.
I would do a lot of somersaults, like a lot of them.
Bake some pies.
I would probably actually run the race for the arts rather than stroll.
I would stop eating dining hall red velvet cookies for an entire week.
I would get him
Mushroom brie, yeah!
Everything, absolutely everything. I would not go a day without that bowl of soup.
I would run out of camp and get you cowlick for free.
Oh my God, I love that. It's my favorite soup. I like to put like little pieces of egg matzo into them.
I would cancel tomorrow.
What wouldn't I do?
I would take off my winter beanie, and I do not take off my winter beanie.
I would force Ryan to make it all the time.
We'll go to the chef himself and beg for it at this point, if that's the case.
I would learn the oboe.
Absolutely nothing. I don't like mushroom brie.
Okay.
You give me white cheddar broccoli, anything.
I would eat leaves.
It's gonna be good.
Well, I don't eat soup other than Frenchwoods.
I would stop wearing my Crocs.
I would start a troop with my work husband, Colroy Trainer, in 2017.
For a mushroom brie, I would drive the 11 hours and 56 minutes all the way to Frenchwoods from my current location. Have fun, you guys. Love you, Soup Troop.
Hi everybody, my name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to
DannyPalooza. Woo! We are so excited for this episode, you guys.
We have some wonderful guests to interview. But first, for those of you who are first-time viewers here at Soup Troop, you may be asking yourself, what is Soup Troop? And let me tell you. Soup Troop is an all-inclusive organization started by Danny Feldman and his work husband, Colroy Trainer, at Frenchwoods Festival of the Performing Arts, upstate New York. And Danny was so disheartened that there was not a place where you could discuss soups in a safe environment. So we decided to start something called Soup Troop. And as we grew larger and larger, we have grown our audience, and we decided with the coronavirus pandemic to bring Soup Troop online to our lovely viewers. So welcome to our 23rd episode of Soup Troop Online.
Danny, that was a stunning explanation. You're phenomenal. But I have to ask you before we start our critically acclaimed DannyPalooza. You know, today is Super Bowl Sunday. If there were 2 soups, that would go head to head on the Super Bowl Sunday, which do you think they would be, and who's coming out on top? The people want to know.
So as most theater kids, I obviously am not a sports person. That doesn't come as a surprise to anyone. However, if there was a Super Bowl, I would totally watch it. You know how there's like the Puppy Bowl, and it's like all the dogs and they like run around? Like, I will watch that. But if there was a Super Bowl, I would have to say like maybe a butternut squash soup versus like a pumpkin soup, because they're both so similar, but they're so different, And I feel like the butternut squash soup would come out on top. It's the more universally loved soup, but I feel like they're so similar that when they would go head to head, they would be like, the audience loves me more, And I feel like that's why butternut squash would win. What about you, Danny?
That's a great, that was a great answer. I'm going to have to kind of vibe similarly with you. I'm going to take a good mushroom brie and a good broccoli cheddar, like the cheese vegetable soups of the nation. And I do think, you might disagree, but I think mushroom brie would have to come out on top.
Danny, I feel like that was a personal attack.
No.
If for those of you who don't know, Danny and I's favorite soups. Danny's favorite soup is mushroom brie, and mine is broccoli cheddar. So I feel like this was like a me and you fight. Like, I feel like you were having a Super Bowl between us, and you just said that you would win. So
well, is what it is.
I think broccoli cheddar would come out on top.
I don't know. Any bread bowls for me. I don't know. I don't think they would. I don't think they could do it.
All right. Agree to disagree.
That being said, we cannot delay DannyPalooza any longer. So we have to bring in our first guest. We are so excited to introduce Danny Harris Kornfeld. He has been seen in so many things. He was Mark on the 20th anniversary tour of Rent. He was in Carmel Dean's Renascence, and he was in Ringer off-Broadway. We are so excited to welcome Danny Harris Kornfeld.
Hi, welcome. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
For those of you who don't know, Danny actually went to Frenchwoods.
Yes. I went 04 to 08.
Yes, that is, wow. We are so honored to have our elders here with us today.
You are welcome.
Here at Soup Troupe.
So our first question that we like to ask all of our guests is, what is your favorite soup memory?
Ooh. My grandma, she would make a crushed red lentil soup. And it was like lemony, it was carroty, it was oniony, and we dip it in pita. But like, I can't think of a particular instance in which like the soup was especially important. It's just something that has like carried through time as being one of my favorite things that she's made.
I love that. That sounds delicious. Yeah. So we have to ask you, first of all, congratulations on your role in the 20th anniversary tour of Rent. That was amazing. But we have to ask, you know, first of all, what was it like to be on tour with such an iconic role? And if you were to go to the ABC Cafe after Maureen's show and you were to get more than a tea, but a soup, which soup would you order?
Okay, which one do you want first?
Let's start with the tour question, and then the soup. We'll close out.
Yeah, it was one of the best years of my life. It was 2000. I think it was 16 we left. But yeah, it was the first year of the 20th anniversary leg, and it was just like where we were as a country politically, and like the climate. It just felt so good going out every night, telling a story about love, inclusion, celebrating what is different in all of us. We have queer couples on stage. We have interracial couples on stage. So like taking that across the country into sometimes like the middle of nowhere, it's just such a gift. And I was honored to get to be one of the 24 of us to tell that story. And it was the first show I saw on Broadway when I was 9. And so to have like that be my introduction and then kind of my introduction to like the theater world, it just is like I just met, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
That sounds so lovely. And now for the soup part of the question.
Okay, so my boyfriend has been making I think it's like a 16 bean, like Beyond Meat chili. He's just made it 5 times in like the span of maybe 3 weeks. But I feel like that is something that would so be at the Life Cafe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That sounds
That sounds amazing. Rent was actually the first show I ever saw too. So hearing you say that story just like warmed my heart and was just like, oh, that's so sweet.
Joey Fatone was Mark. So wait, was he a Backstreet Boy or NSYNC? You guys know who Joey Fatone is?
Oh my God! Do you know who the Backstreet Boys are?
Yes, I know who the Backstreet.
If it's a constellation, Danny Gardner is also shocked that we didn't know who they were.
I'm so sorry. I have to apologize for not knowing.
Never mind.
All right. Moving right along, now is the time here on Soup Troupe where you can ask any questions that you would like. So please leave your questions down below in the comment section, and we will try to get to as many as we can.
So this first one comes from LMM123, who says, what soup could you eat every single day for the rest of your life, breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Ooh, great question, LMM123. I would have to say a white bean, Tuscan kale, spicy chili. There's something that is incredibly complex while also being very simple. I feel like of it, it's something that has to like sit, cook all day, keep the place warm.
Absolutely. Yeah. This next one comes from Kendall Julia, who says, all of the condiments you will use for the rest of your life have been replaced by one soup. One soup is it?
Tomato soup. It's a ketchup.
Wow. Okay.
You're so right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Elia Chase says, it's snowing, but the snow is not frozen water, it's soup. What soup do you build your snowman out of?
I think split pea. It basically feels like the texture of snow to begin with. You can probably pat that down really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Big green ball. Put a dot on it. Put a carrot in the nose. You get even more.
Oh, absolutely. C. Hargrove says, hey, Danny, I had the wonderful chance to see you on the tour in DC. If you had to replace the big bike on the Christmas tree with one big bowl of soup, what soup would you choose?
I think I would do an alphabet soup because alphabet has 26 different letters in it. It's full of all different shapes, sizes, and that's what Ren's about. So
I love that. We have time for one more question for Danny Harris Kornfeld today, and it's coming from Maeve Reese, who says, what star stunner soup would give the best halftime show for the soup?
Oh. I think chicken tortellini soup, because tortellini, just like hearing that be broadcast, like the tortellini, like in a stadium being like tortellini, tortellini, tortellini. And then like the chicken tortellini like rise up from the stage with fireworks.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Amazing. Well, that is all the time we have today. So thank you so much for joining us today, Danny. It was lovely having you here.
It's an honor.
Absolutely. Well, everyone at home, please join us in giving Danny Harris Kornfeld a 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you.
Oh, thanks. And I'm here for you all too. So
thank you. We will see you so soon. Bye. That was Danny Harris Kornfeld. You simply must follow him on everything at Danny H. Korn on the Instagrams. He is phenomenal, and we are so excited to see everything he does during the pandemic and after. But we have to move on to our next special guest of the day. We are so excited to welcome Mr. Danny Gardner. He was seen on Broadway in Dames at Sea and Flying Over Sunset, which will return when we can safely. He was in Lady Be Good at the City Center Encores and the New York Spectacular. He's also a phenomenal dance teacher at Steps and on his own on Vimeo. We are so excited to welcome Danny Gardner.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just, this black bean soup. I'm sorry. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Hi.
How are you, Danny Gardner? How are you doing today?
I am so good. I'm so happy to be here. I love soup. When I put this up on social media, there were so many people that were like, of course you are. Like, in between shows, soup is my go-to because it's not too heavy, has a lot of good stuff for you, to get you through that show. So it's just, and it's warm and it just makes you feel good. So I am here for this. I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
That was absolutely beautiful. I think that may have been the greatest Soup Troupe entrance I've ever seen.
Wow. Thank you.
Stunning. You get a Tony for that. Tony Award for best Soup Troupe entrance. Congratulations.
A soupy, perhaps? A soupy?
A soupy.
Danny,
we're saving that for later. We're saving that for later.
TM, soupy. Yeah.
We just coined the phrase. Okay, I'm sorry. Now we have a trademark. So, welcome. Our first question that we like to ask all of our guests is, what is your favorite soup memory?
Well, growing up at Christmas time, Christmas Eve, my family would always get together and we went to my grandparents' house, my mother's parents. And Christmas Eve was always a crazy time, so they made like very simple things because it was Christmas Day where we had the big dinner and, turkey and things like that. So my grandmother always made chicken corn noodle soup and then beef vegetable soup and these huge, just big like pots of it. And so that to me was what you did on Christmas Eve. And so when my grandparents passed away, my mom took that on. So she makes that every year now. And it, to me, because it's not specifically Christmas Eve, it's the anticipation of like, oh my gosh, this great thing's going to happen. So it has, whenever I taste those soups or even smell those soups, there's this excitement that starts happening automatically. And I just, I love, that's one of my favorite, soup memories.
Oh, it's stunning. I love that. I have to know, as a dance teacher, what are your best tips for students and performers to be the best that they can be? And if you had to teach a soup-based dance class around one iconic soup, what soup would it be and what style of dance would that soup embody?
That's a great question. Well, I think for upcoming dancers or performers, I think the thing is just keep learning and don't be afraid to be passionate about what you're passionate about. I think when I was younger, when I was first starting out, I was like, oh, I have to like every musical and every genre equally. It's important to know all the genres. It's important to get to know like the history of all of it, but go into what you like and don't be afraid to do the research. There's such a wealth of research that I didn't have, being 84 now. When I was younger, I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have all these, so you can go online and see whole musicals from back in the day and learn so much. So use these wonderful tools that you have and, just be excited about what you want to be excited about. And the soup, well, I kind of think this is when I think of Broadway soup, I think of, it's now gone. It's sadly gone. The Cafe Edison. It was on 47th Street, right off of Broadway. And their matzo ball soup was absolutely stunning. I mean, it could make you feel so much better. I remember going there after bombing auditions and just being like, oh no, it's never going to happen. And then I'd be like, matzo ball soup, please. And then afterwards I'd be like, oh, everything's going to be fine. And I'd skip out the front door of Cafe Edison and they'd say, please stop skipping. But I think if I were teaching a class, that would be the Broadway soup, matzo ball soup. And what was the ending of that question?
What style of dance are you teaching in your matzo ball soup class?
I think it would be something really earthy, something like almost like, maybe some Jerome Robbins from Fiddler on the Roof, something like that. Something very in tradition. There's a lot of tradition in matzo ball soup. It's been passed from one family to the next, and like it's so giving. And so I think, that's what I would do. Yeah.
I have had that matzo ball soup, and let me tell you, it is wonderful. It is so good. I would like go in like after I'd rush a show to see a show on Broadway, and I'd be like, it's time for matzo ball soup.
Yes. If any one of your fans knows that recipe, I would love, because I don't know if it was the dill, I don't know what it was, but there's something I've never tasted another matzo ball soup like it. I would love that recipe.
We'll do some research.
Danny and I have been tasked to redefine the soup menu at Fine Sense 54 Below. So maybe now that the Edison is gone, maybe that matzo ball soup has to make an appearance.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's so exciting.
Yeah, for sure. All right, it is that time where we are going to have our Q&A. So if you have any questions for Danny, leave them in the comment section below, and we will get to as many as we can.
All right, this first one comes from Anna Spenley, who says, congratulations, you've just won Prom King. You're waiting to hear who won prom queen, and it's a soup. What soup would you like the opportunity to slow dance with at prom?
Oh gosh, I think chicken noodle. It's classic, but it has those long, sensual noodles that you could really tango or dance with. But it would have to be. I have recently become vegan, so it would have to be vegan chicken noodle soup.
So Ellie Perlman asks, in the same fashion as fantasy football, if you could make a dream team of soup and could draft one soup to be your star player, your quarterback, if you will, what soup would it be?
I think it would be, I know this was said, but tortellini. Tortellini soup, there's something like hearty and like you can really, dig into that. There are big chunks, vegetable tortellini. That would be like kind of the star. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This next comes from Ned Way, who says, imagine you are the most famous fashion model of all time, going down the runway, doused in hot soup. What soup do you think complements your figure the best?
Ooh, complements the figure the best. Something, I love it. Something really slip. Maybe just a broth. Maybe just a bone broth or just a vegetable broth. I mean, the vegan, and maybe just something really simple in it, like a noodle, a macaroni, something really just less is more. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, now seems as good of a time as any to mention our sponsors. So we are at Soup Troupe are proud to be sponsored by Brodo Broth Company, right in the heart of Manhattan. If you are looking for a good bone broth, you can go to their multiple locations across the city, as well as they have frozen soups in stores at farmers markets, and you can buy them online and ship them anywhere across the country. That was a good little segue. This next plug. Justin Parrish says that's the Ned way. This next question comes from Mackenzie Germain, who says, I'm singing in the soup. Oh no, it's raining soup. What kind of soup would Don Lockwood be dancing in? P.S. I saw you in Singing in the Rain at Engelman, and you were amazing.
Oh, thank you. Oh, what a great question. I think it would be, I don't particularly like this soup. Maybe it's because I've never had a good one, but the cold soup gazpacho, I think that would be, an interesting thing to dance in, because then sometimes you splash that water, or in this case, soup, into the audience, and I wouldn't want anyone to get burned by, scalding soup. So I think gazpacho, yeah.
Absolutely. This next one comes from Justin Parrish, who says, it's August 24th, 79 AD in Pompeii, Italy. You are a resident there, unknowingly approaching your molten demise. What erupts out of Mount Vesuvius that day is not lava, but what soup?
That was a really good question, Justin. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Well, this one, this is going to be so silly. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Because it is explosive sometimes, cabbage soup. I think it would have to be cabbage soup, because it's explosive at the beginning and explosive at the end sometimes. So there you go.
All right, we only have time for 2 more questions today. This one comes from C. Hargrove, who says, Julian Marsh is doing a show. It's a soup variety. Which soup would lead the opening tap number to 42nd Street, and which soup would have a fantastic tap audition and get cast in this soup show?
It would have to be some kind of really flashy soup. I think, what about pho? Like pho soup. That would be, because to me, whenever there's pho, everyone's like, oh, pho. We're gonna have pho. Oh, well, I didn't know it was a special occasion. Like, it's this thing of and it's exotic and it has all these wonderful flavors. I think that would be the star. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this last question comes from Mr. Sam Vanna, who says, the Buccaneers arrive ready to face off against the Chiefs, but oh no, every player has been replaced with the individual soup thermoses. What do you think would wipe out the Bucs and take the dub?
I think, because this is hearty oxtail soup.
Ooh.
Oxtail soup, big, hearty, something like that. Yeah, I think that would get it done. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sounds delicious. All right, well, that is all the time we have for our questions today. So thank you so much, Danny, for joining us. And please make sure that you take Danny's top classes. You can access that at DannyJGardner.com. So make sure to check that out. And thank you again for being us. Being with us.
If only I could be you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Soup to you.
Soup to you. Everyone at home, please join us in giving Danny Gardner a 1, 2, 3. We're
here for you.
And I am here for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Danny Gardner. You simply must follow him online on Instagram at DannyJGNYC. We are so excited to see everything he does, pandemic and beyond, and his tap classes are amazing, I could say, from personal experience. All right, Danny. All right. You know, what makes this episode of all episodes a DannyPalooza?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that question, Danny.
Yes.
You may think, oh, this was a great episode of Soup Troop. Now it's over. I must go along with my day. How sad that there's no more Soup Troop. Nay, nay, nay. We are not finished yet. Today is DannyPalooza, and in honor of the Super Bowl, and now that we have more Dannys than ever on our episode, we are going to have a Danny face-off.
So please help us welcome back Danny Gardner and Danny Harris Kornfeld.
Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
We are so excited. So this is our first ever Danny off. So in order to decide the teams, will you guys pick a number, either 1 or 2?
2.
1.
Teams are official. So Danny Gardner, we are on a team together.
Hey!
We are also on a team together, Danny Harris Kornfeld. Are you ready? We are going to tell you how this game is going to work. So this is a game of soup charades. So how this is going to work is Danny and I are going to describe a classic soup to you. And within a minute, we can see how many soups that you guys can guess in a minute. And whoever guesses more soups wins the DannyPalooza.
Okay.
All right. Danny Gardner, we're going first. Ms. Wergiles, will you time us and keep track of how many we get?
Yes, one moment. All right. And away we go.
Okay, so this soup is for the soul. It's warm.
Chicken noodle.
Absolutely. This soup, Danny Wergiles would face off with pumpkin soup in the Super Bowl. It's orange. It's
squash. Squash.
Yes. This is a Chinese and Japanese soup. It's cup of noodles. You can get it.
Oh, ramen.
Yes. So it's not a broth base, but
tomato based.
like a sour
cream based.
Yes. Okay. And it's my favorite soup. Something in brie.
Mushroom.
Yes. So
mushroom and brie.
Mm-hmm.
Brie and mushroom.
The take out. Okay, yeah.
Mushroom.
Okay. This is Danny Harris's Kornfeld's grandma's soup. It's little vegetables.
Oh no.
They're a little gray.
Pea.
No, gray. They're small.
Lentil.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna skip the next one.
Time is up.
Oh.
Congratulations, that's a good amount of soups. 5 soups.
I
Wow.
did.
We did.
Amazing.
Let me get
so
my.
Danny, do you think that we can beat the other team of Danny's? Because
Sure
I'm
do.
pretty confident. I think we can do it.
Sure do.
All right, Danny Feldman, are you ready?
Yes, Danny Harris Kornfeld, you are about to play soup charades, and away we soup.
Okay, so this is my favorite soup. It's a vegetable and a cheese, and they go together. It's perfect. This next soup, it has, I would face off with it in the butternut squash soup. It's made of jack-o'-lanterns. It's perfect. Next soup, this vegetable comes on the cob sometimes.
Corn.
Yes, but what type of
Cream corn soup.
Not quite. Sometimes it's also a clam
Corn
soup.
Corn chowder.
Perfect. This soup you can get at Chinese restaurants. It's takeout. It has seaweed. It has tofu.
Oh, miso soup.
Yes, this next soup is made of a very expensive fish. You can get it at any fish-related restaurants. It's really good in Maine.
Lobster bisque.
Yes, next to this soup, it has little meatballs in it, and it's got little
Beef and Italian wedding soup.
This soup, it's made of
Time's up.
Nice job. Good job.
All right. Danny Harris Kornfeld, you are our first ever winner of both DannyPalooza and Soup Charades.
I feel so good.
This is a really big moment for me. I just want to let you know, thank you so much for helping me beat Danny. It means the world. Thank you.
The fans have spoken. I don't know who they're rooting for, but they're rooting for someone.
I think they're
rooting for all of us. Because we're all named Danny. Amazing. This was a delight. DannyPalooza was so much fun. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did. And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
It was so great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Honored to be here.
We'll see you guys soon.
That was such a lovely episode. Gosh, diggity darn. So much fun.
That was perfect.
Danny, I'm so sorry. I just want to reiterate the fact again that I beat you. Just didn't want to rub it in your face, but I wanted to just...
It is what it is. I actually skipped over clam chowder because I wasn't sure how to even say chowder in time. So I was going to come back to that if we got, but we didn't. Anywho. That was a great episode. If you enjoyed Soup Troop Online, which we hope you did, we hope you'll follow us on Instagram at Soup Troop Official and like us on Facebook at Soup Troop Online. And then you could also like and subscribe to this video down below.
If you want to read more about Soup Troop Online, which we know you do, you can read more about us on BroadwayWorld.com, and the link is in the description below.
I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors here at Soup Troop, Brita Broth Company, for always supporting us and sending us some lovely broths in the mail. Thank you. We are so excited for the growth and continuation of our collaboration. With that being said, I am Danny.
And I'm Danny, and this has been DannyPalooza. Woo! Everyone at home, join us in a 1, 2, 3. Have a super day.
Bye, guys.
Week. Mwah.